Hey guys, continuing on with our Ask the Doctor lecture series blog posts. This week's topic of discussion was based around a question, and the question was, are we eating enough? And this is something that I come across quite often in my office from whether it's athletes that we want to talk about, how to maximize their performance, or even folks that say, hey, I want to lose 10 or 15 pounds that I've gained over the years. What's the really magic formula that's there? So I want to kind of give a little bit of background regarding this and just a kind of difference in thought maybe for some folks to help assist them in kind of change their mindset as far as how to look at this. So the first golden rule really that I have is that there's no kind of cookbook. Everyone is different. So a particular lifestyle or a diet that someone uses may be beneficial for you and may not. The only way that you're going to find out is through trial and error. But before you get there, I think there's a couple of basics that need to be kind of discussed and interpreted. The first rule that I kind of have for most folks when it comes to nutrition is that you got to write stuff down. There's just no two ways about it. It is tedious. I understand that. This is something that I struggle with from time to time. But when I'm really kind of focusing on how much calories I'm getting in and macronutrients, the only way that I'm going to be able to figure that out is to actually write it down. There's tons of programs that are out there. There's something called MyFitnessPal that's free that you can use. I personally have my own spreadsheet because I like to look up each individual component in whatever I'm taking in. And so I have a pretty accurate measure of the amount of food that I'm getting in as well as the calories that I'm taking in per day. Second rule really comes into the fact of you got to write out individual ingredients. And so a lot of folks will say, hey, I had a sandwich for lunch, and they'll kind of try to guesstimate how many calories there were rather than calculating individually, how much, what kind of bread was used, what were the calories in the bread, what kind of meat, if it was used, if they're using meat, cheese, condiments, those kinds of things. The condiments really can get you. There's sugar basically in everything, and the condiment choices can really affect the amount of calories that you're getting in a particular meal. So it's really important to help write that down. I will say that most common, however, that I see more than anything else, besides these 2 points, is that most women that I see and a lot of athletes that I see actually don't eat enough. There's a lot of different calculators that are out there you can find online. The Harris-Benedict formula is one that kind of calculates your basal metabolic rate. I'll spare the details as far as the equation goes, but you can find a Harris-Benedict formulation online and plug in your height, weight, and activity scale and get a relative range. And these numbers are relative, meaning that they're there as a reference point. They're not set in stone, but it kind of gives you a target idea of the amount of calories that you should be getting in if you did absolutely no work. So, there's something called a basal metabolic rate, or BMR, that tells you that this is the amount of calories that you need if you're just as a vegetable. If you're to lay around all day, do absolutely no exertion. That's for daily function based on your height and weight. There's something that I like to kind of discuss, which is the total daily expenditure score. And that incorporates the activity that you do throughout the day. So if you're a runner, if you're a CrossFitter, if you're a swimmer, if you're a biker, you can get some sort of relative idea as far as the amount of calories that you need to keep a caloric neutral zone. So meaning that if I'm burning 2,700 calories a day, then if I want to keep things the same, I need to take in 2,700 calories a day. If you want to lose fat, if you want to lose a little bit of weight, then obviously we need to decrease the amount of calories that you take in. If you're trying to bulk up, then you got to take more than 2,700 calories. And remember that number 2,700, it's a relative kind of point, if you will. Not set in stone, but it's something that you want to use to kind of give a daily kind of gauge as far as targets. And the best way that you're going to be able to remember to hit that target or monitor how you get that target is by writing your food down. So kind of circles back to actually kind of taking the initiative to write stuff down. So, a lot of folks come in and they say, hey, I had a lot of success with losing weight to a certain point, and then I'm beginning to plateau. I'm doing resistance training, working out. I'm trying to, decrease my carbohydrate intake. What's going on here? And so when I do calculations for folks that aren't kind of really writing things down, they're shocked to actually hear that I say you're not eating enough. And a lot of folks, what they do is, they'll eat really, really clean, but they've substituted a lot of dense material with lighter material. So, for example, a lot of folks will kind of really reduce their meat consumption, drop off the oils in their diet, and really increase their veggies, which is great. But then all of a sudden their caloric intake drops to 1,500 calories per day. So what happens is that if you're let's say 5'8" and about 135 pounds and a female that's moderately active, your basal metabolic rate off the top of my head is about 1,300 calories, give or take. So if you're only taking in 1,500 calories, your body is barely getting enough nutrition just to even sustain your basal metabolic rate. And then when you kick in the exercise that you do, whether it's running, hiking, biking, yoga, an extra 600 to 700 calories that you're burning throughout the day, then your body literally thinks it's starving. And so, we should be getting in close to 1,900 to 2,000 calories. You're actually deficient by 500 calories. Eventually your body's going to catch up to you and say, hey, I'm not sure when it is the next time I'm going to be able to eat. And so you will have that problem of weight loss and weight rate reduction. So, I really kind of encourage folks to say, well, hey, maybe we need to up the calories a little bit, specifically some healthy fat, because it's calorie dense. It does kind of make you feel full, and it's just enough of a trigger to the body to say, okay, I'm no longer in starvation mode again. I can run more efficiently, and you kind of get over that hump. So, there's things out there about carb cycling, and there's things out there about working out in a fasted state. I'll leave those to another discussion, but the take-home message really is that, a lot of people are surprised to hear that actually they're not eating enough. I think we've been kind of really good in this country to kind of really beat down the process of like, you got to decrease your calories, which is true to a certain extent, but our bodies are pretty savvy, and if they think that not getting enough calories through our nutrition and the stuff that we're taking in, it will go into starvation mode, and then the goals that you have as far as breaking through certain barriers will be delayed. So upping the calories a little bit by getting in some healthy fat for some calorie-dense stuff, or increasing the protein that you have, can just give you that enough bump to put your body into a more efficient state. So hopefully this helps and answers some questions for you guys. If you guys have any questions, always email. Remember, Flat Rock Health is your source for education, affordable care with upfront pricing. Thanks. Have a great week. Bye.